Welcome back. Our next guest is Patrick Kaler, President and CEO of Visit Buffalo Niagara. Thanks so much for coming in, Patrick.
Thanks for having me again.
Well, today we're talking about the impact of the Great Lakes cruise industry and the possibility of becoming a port city here in Buffalo, right?
Absolutely. So Governor Hochul was at a meeting last year, meeting with her counterparts of Great Lake governors around the United States, and they were all talking about the fact that they have cruise ships that come into their states. And she said, well, I would like to have some cruise ships that come into New York. So the state, through Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation, has hired a consultant, and they're doing a feasibility on where a port or ports might go and what the economic implications would mean to our destination.
Absolutely. So this is just all talks. This is like a possibility of this happening. Now, I know we're at the very beginning stages, but can you explain to myself and the viewers of what this could possibly mean were this to come to fruition?
Absolutely. So there are 8 cruise companies that already are cruising around the Great Lakes, and they have 11 different ships. I understand 5 ships that are in process of being built right now. But the economic impact overall for the Great Lakes is pretty large. Over 25,000 people are estimated to be taking cruises this year alone, and that's from May until October. So it's a pretty short window of time. They will have over 800 port visits, so all of the different ports around the Great Lakes, that equates to that number. And it's an economic impact of over $180 million.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, Buffalo would love to have a piece of that big pie because, again, it's a very captive audience when they come in as a port of call. But we would also like to be the home port where a cruise either begins or ends. So we would get overnight stays out of it as well, where people would come before they get on the cruise boat or afterwards. So there's a lot of moving parts on this, but we're excited that at least the possibility of it is moving forward.
Which is really cool because I think a lot of people in Buffalo love to go on cruises, but you have to fly to other cities, right? You fly to Miami or other places with big ports. Imagine having that in our backyard.
Exactly, and to be able to get to all of these different states, all of those different ports in a very neat, unique way. Now, they aren't the party boats like the Royal Caribbean, so there's not a pool or a casino. It's a little bit slower paced. But, you know, you get to go to all of these different destinations. You can probably go to 5 different states in one cruise. So,
wow.
yeah, and it also has an international component with Canada going to Toronto and through the St. Lawrence Seaway.
Which is very, very cool. Yeah. So talk about kind of the process. Right now, there are people that are kind of scoping out Buffalo, seeing the possibilities of where ports could be. Have they said any areas yet?
Some things have been talked about, like the DLNW terminal down at Canal Side, as well as the Outer Harbor. Obviously, great places to put a cruise ship. So at least we have the infrastructure in place, or the possibilities of changing some of the infrastructure at both of those locations. So we've also at Visit Buffalo Niagara started to do our own research as far as what people like to do when they are in these different destinations and how we can set ourselves apart, make sure that Buffalo ends up on some of these itineraries in the future.
Yeah, Buffalo is going to be a hot spot. I can feel it. And and it already is. There's so much money being put into our city and new developments and new activities. But I think in the coming years, especially with talks of something like this, it could be making or meaning something really great.
Oh, absolutely. It's speaking to another audience as well. And what we have heard is that people that take these cruises end up going back to those different port cities on a separate trip. So the repeat visitation is also very important for us to consider, not just the cruises themselves.
So this is, like you said, something that Governor Kathy Hochul is working on. So pretty much once all of the studies are decided, if it's decided that this would be a good place, it's really up to her to make that decision.
Absolutely. So it'll take some dollars, obviously, to put into place the infrastructure that is necessary for the port. There could also be a need for passport control because of the international component. Not just Canadians, but people from around the world actually like to take these Great Lakes cruises too. But when they go from country to country, you know, if they start in Canada and then work their way to the United States, there still has to be that control as well. Plus, to be a home port city. We also have to think about the luggage portion of it, the fueling of the boats, getting new provisions on the boats as well.
Absolutely, making sure that with these big boats, making sure that we're still taking care of our environment, right?
Absolutely.
Very cool stuff here. Now, this is all in the works. Is there any throwing around of a date that if this were to come true, if this were to be approved, that this could happen?
Well, I know that Governor Hochul would like it to happen as soon as possible.
Okay.
So as soon as possible, once the study is done and we can get everything up in place. I think realistically, we're probably looking at 2025, 2026, though.
Okay, that's a good place to start. So thank you so much for coming in and sharing about that. Very interesting stuff. I want to know what our viewers have to say about this too, but you can find more information on Visit Buffalo Niagara by heading over to their website, but visitbuffaloniagara.com. Thanks so much for coming in, Patrick. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.